The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. If that was one message, it'd probably be that. Like, people don't fail because they're not talented or skilled or whatever. It's like you give up what you want most for what you want now.
For all the youngsters in here who are spending a disproportionate amount of time to justify blockchain or crypto, I want to remind you that there was a time when the internet itself was a fad. The first conference I ever went to that looked like this, I sat on a panel where old people laughed at the idea that people would buy wine on the internet, and multiple people on the panel that I was on said that by the year 2000, the internet would not exist. If you spent as much energy that you spend on debating whether crypto or blockchain are going to succeed and actually became a practitioner, you would be much further along. There was a time where I went to search conferences where people were like, when's search gonna be accepted? And then all the way back to the beginning, when would the internet itself be accepted?
Should you open a joint bank account when you get married? Well, here's the thing. I am a little biased because I believe that you should have your own income and your own bank account, each of you separate from the other. But I also think for convenience sake, you should have a joint bank account that you each make deposits into to pay all of the joint expenses. But here's the kicker. Here's the bottom line here. When you are thinking about getting married, you should ensure that you have your own things and get a prenup before you get married. And if you forget or you take too long, get a postnup. Just as good as a prenup.
Erich Neumann, famous student of Carl Jung, said, don't pretend to be better than you are. Now, he didn't mean don't try to be a moral person, don't try to improve yourself or any of that. He meant don't lie about what you are and what you want.
So how should you handle yourself if you get publicly disrespected either at work, in a friend group, or in a social setting? So growing up in Texas, this was extremely confusing because we were raised to be Southern gentlemen, be respectful, and always take the high road. And while you should be respectful and kind, you should never let someone disrespect you, because if you allow that in a big group or in a social setting, you are literally teaching every single person in that group that it is okay to disrespect you and it's okay to talk down to you. You have to eliminate it and stop it immediately. This doesn't have to mean you're fighting them. Never do that. But as a man or as a woman, you have to be direct with that person and demand respect.
Interesting. Which is the opposite of the American
Homes were
dream.
not built for people. Homes were built for banks. The bank created that product to sell money. You can't just loan people money. You need a product in between. Like when people start really understanding what I'm telling them, they're like, wait, what did he just say? The bank can't lend money for just money. Like you need a reason to borrow money. Oh, you're starting a business. That's a reason, but it's really risky for the bank. What if a bunch of bankers sitting around drinking bourbon? Dude, we need to lend more money. We got to lend money out, man. That's how we make money. We get people to give us $1. We lend it out 9 times. We lend it out 9 times. We need something to lend the money on. So back in the 50s, they're like, everybody should have a home. They grinned. Everybody should have a home, right? Oh man, that's pretty good. We should call it something like the American dream.
I'm telling you this because I wish someone had told me this. When things keep repeating in your life that are causing you pain, it's because there's a lesson to be learned that you are not yet learning. Remember, things happen for you, not to you. And the pain will leave you once it's done teaching you.
Never more than 5% of your portfolio in any one name, no matter how great the story is. If it's the next Nortel, if it's the next RIM, who cares? 5% max weighting. For me, usually it's 2.5 to 3%. I never let a stock get bigger than that in my portfolio. I sell into the strength all the time.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids, but I was rich because I had a dream.